Hello, welcome to Healing Tree. My name is Danielle Gaudette, and thank you for joining me. Today, I'm going to be talking about the topic of forgiveness and healing through forgiveness. So, this is one of my most favorite topics because forgiveness is such a huge part. It has been a very big part of my own journey. I want to talk about both self forgiveness and forgiveness of others because both of them are very important. And I want to start with self forgiveness. Self forgiveness is the key to emotional healing, it's a huge part of it. And it's a huge part of healing our relationship with others and experiencing forgiveness with others, learning how to forgive others. So I want to emphasize that self forgiveness is not because I think I've done something wrong and that I need to be forgiven. This is not why we practice self forgiveness. It's not about wrong. It's not about wrong or right. But what it's about is that you yourself, somewhere in your mind, you have fragmented in some part of you, right? Some part of us is telling myself that I've done something wrong. So this is not about others now. This is just about me. The part of my mind, the part of your own mind that tells yourself something's wrong with you, self criticism, self blame, self judgment, hurting ourselves in these ways, talking negatively to ourselves, talking negatively about ourselves to others. All of this is painful, hurtful to myself. And it causes anxiety, it causes guilt, it can even lead to depression. It causes unhealthy emotions and feelings. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good at all. So that's why it starts with myself. How am I going to repair that with myself? The key is in forgiveness. So, what is forgiveness here? Forgiveness is simply letting go, simply about letting go. And I know that letting go isn't easy in and of itself. I know. We trip up on the word letting go because it feels difficult. We trip up on the word forgiveness because maybe we feel resistance, like, I didn't do anything wrong. I don't have to be forgiven, and we get defensive. So it's okay. We're zooming way out here. So now I've clarified what I mean when I talk about forgiveness. It's not because you've done anything wrong and so therefore you need to defend. No, it's what I tell myself I've done wrong that I actually didn't do. So then when we look at letting go, we can see how much are you holding on inside, right? So there's like a clenching, tensing, holding on of a negative feeling, a negative idea, a negative perspective, a negative belief. We're holding on and insisting that they are true, when in fact, there's many ways to see something. And those negative things that we tell ourselves about ourselves are not the truth. They're not the ultimate truth. So we are doing this inner hurting to ourselves, this inner judging, blaming, criticizing, and then we're blocking ourselves from our own light of love inside, from our own true essence. So the first question I have for you is, or that you have to ask yourself is, do I want to forgive? It has to start with a desire. Because if you're not wanting to, then you might still be in the defensive and resistance place. And we're not here to fight with that. This is for those who want forgiveness but are having a hard time accessing it. So it starts with forgiving yourself. It starts with deciding, I want something more than being so hard on myself. I want something more than being unkind to myself. I want to be a little more loving, a little more generous, embracing, and forgiving to my own self. Really, it's about giving yourself a break from being so hard on yourself, so critical on yourself, so many expectations on yourself. So it takes a lot of inner looking. How much am I being hurtful to myself in this way? I'm actually hurting my own self. I'm making myself tense. Some of you may feel you're making yourself sick, even. This is all happening. This is all about what I'm doing to my own self. So I'm here to explain and to talk about this from a very large perspective so that everyone can understand this is in my hands. I don't need to keep holding on. I don't need to keep holding on to this unkind behavior to myself. I don't need to keep holding on to these beliefs about myself if they're hurting me, if they're dimming my light, if they're making me feel small. I don't need to keep doing that. So I want you to give yourself permission to stop doing that. This is the beginning of forgiveness. Give yourself permission to give yourself a break, to breathe out, relax, and stop the clenching. You can use your body to begin. Where am I clenching and holding on? You can feel it with your own body. Where can I breathe out, relax? And this is the beginning of letting go. I'm going to let that go because holding on to it only hurts me. It only makes me feel sick. It only makes me suffer more emotionally. And we get buried underneath those feelings. So I'm giving you permission to start to decide right here and now, I don't want to do that to myself anymore. I want to start to be more kind to myself. I want to love myself first. Therefore, I need to forgive myself, which means let go of some of this. Let it go. Let it go what I'm carrying, what I'm holding, what I'm insisting to be true. Because these are not ultimate truths. These are just perspectives. So, this is the second part of forgiveness that I want to talk about today, which is understanding. Understanding. So, the more you go within and try to understand yourself, the easier you can start to access this sense of forgiveness. Try to feel yourself and feel what is going on within you. How did I get here? Okay, maybe I'm being so hard on myself because I want to be perfect, because I learned something about that in my childhood. And again, it's not analyzing with thoughts. So I have to caution against that. It's not about analyzing. And this is why I love EFT. EFT is all about forgiveness because you're tapping, you're feeling, you're clearing energy. And as the energy moves, you can see more and more of what you've been holding on to. So sometimes you're just stuck and you can't see. But as you move the energy, you can see yourself more and more clearly. Oh, this is how I got here. Actually, it had a good intention. Actually, I was just doing my best. Actually, I was just hoping for this, and then I fell into a little detour, and then I spiraled down. So, through self exploration, you will come to discover more understanding about yourself. So, the more you have understanding, the more you can let go, the more forgiveness takes place inside your heart. And the more you catch that sense of forgiveness, the easier then it is to forgive others. So I'm going to shift a little and talk about others for a minute. Now, when we are in a state where we can't forgive somebody, we're very outside. We're looking outward at the person, at the situation, at the past, at the event. First of all, that breeds more frustration, anger, resentment. Again, not good for me. Not good for me. So ultimately, the only reason to forgive another is for myself because that's better for me. That's healthier for me. That's more loving for me. That makes my life more joyful, more peaceful. If you want to have more of those things, happiness, joy, love, light, peace in your life, then you'll soon find that in holding on to what I don't forgive about another, it only hurts me. Also, I have given all my power away to that person or that group or that event or that entity or that past experience. I've given all my power away there. So now I have less power, less energy for myself. Also, not good for me, not good for my healing journey, whether that's a physical or mental, emotional, or spiritual journey. We need energy. We need to take our power back. This is very critical in our healing journey to have that energy, that power. So we're leaking our power and our energy in all the places where we're mad about this and we don't forgive that person for that and we're resentful for this and we're blaming that person for that. My energy is now stuck on that person, on you, because I'm focusing on you. So I need to take my power back. Again, this happens more and more easily and smoothly. First of all, as you choose it, you decide, I want forgiveness. Or maybe you just realize as you're working on your healing, I whether I want to or not, I need that. I need that letting go. I need that forgiving for my wellness, for my healing. So first decide it and then go within and find the places where you need to give yourself a break. That's the easiest way that I want to say it. Just be a little more kind, a little more gentle, a little more generous with yourself, a little more loving with yourself. Rather than expecting someone else to do that for me, let's be the ones who do that for ourselves first. And so then, as we keep doing that, we're healing our relationship with the different parts of ourselves that are hurting, that are in conflict. We're awakening the healer within us, the great unconditional love that we all have within, and we're turning that towards ourselves, the parts of ourselves that we've been unhappy with, upset about, blaming, criticizing, not forgiving. Do that work. Go within, find those places. Those parts of you are waiting for your love. They're waiting for your healing. They're waiting for your forgiveness, your loving heart. Then, as they relax and release, and you feel the benefit of that, you feel the joy of that, you feel the flow of energy in your heart and how good it feels. And you see more and more parts of yourself that want to be forgiven, and you turn your awareness to those parts. Naturally, you open the eyes, you awaken the eyes to see others that way. Sometimes we get stuck. Sometimes these are really big issues. And I'm not saying that we need to forgive. So, this is why I'm always cautious to talk about forgiveness of others, because I don't know what kind of hurt you have experienced. And I'm not saying that somebody else's unhealthy behaviors or cruel behaviors are acceptable. I'm not saying that. Is really what I'm talking about today has nothing to do with others at all. It's all to do about you and your own emotional healing process, your own inner happiness, your health, and your peace. So, whatever they did, okay, that it could be that that was very, very hurtful and unkind. But as long as you hold on to that mind, it will be really hard for you to open your heart again. So when we don't trust others, we end up closing our heart. When you close your heart, that totally blocks your energy system. And then it's going to breed more and more negative emotions inside of you. And then that leads to uncomfortable health conditions in your body. It's all connected. It's all connected. Now, I'm just speaking from experience here. Okay. I am not a licensed mental health professional. I emphasize this every single time. I'm just speaking from experience as a trainer, coach, EFT practitioner, emotional healing coach that I've been working with students and clients for over 20 years. And this is what I see. We get stuck on holding on to blame, but we lose all our energy and power. And then the person who we're blaming is not affected by that, but only you are affected. We are affected. Our happiness is affected. Our peace is affected. So as you practice with yourself, it becomes easier with others. You may want to kind of lean back. So this only happens when you have forgiven yourself enough. That's why I say self-forgiveness happens first. And self-forgiveness is always beneficial. So for instance, if someone hurt me and I'm really angry and upset, the first thing I need to do is forgive myself for being so hard on myself, for twisting myself up with anger, for not taking care of myself when I need to. A certain degree of healthy anger, okay, good, fine. Yeah, it can be beneficial. I understand. But when it goes on and I'm holding on and it's just stewing and becoming resentment, that only hurts me. It only hurts my body, my mind, my heart, my spirit. So, first, I forgive myself. I forgive myself for being so angry. I forgive myself that I can't let it go. I forgive myself for hurting myself in this way. Now, once there's a little space there, if I feel, oh, okay, I can breathe out. Yeah, I feel some forgiveness. Okay, my heart is a little more open. Now I can take a step back and I can look at that person one more time with the mind to try to maybe understand. Hmm. Try to feel them. Maybe they're hurting too. How did they get there? The same process you do with yourself, you can naturally do with others. Again, I'm not saying that we need to accept hurtful behavior in this world. But once we do self forgiveness, where we open our heart and we seek to look with eyes of understanding and empathy, then and only then can we move to the next healthy step, which would be to make a conscious choice that's in alignment with what I really want. So if I want to love myself, then being filled with anger and having all these angry thoughts that I have to listen to all day and being negative in my mind and when I talk to others, this doesn't feel very loving for me. And so this person, this thing that I'm so angry with, I have to take a good look at it. Okay, how long do I want to hold on to this pain? Where do I need to practice forgiveness and letting go? Starting with me, seeing with new eyes. And then the next thing that happens is, okay, I'm ready to make a choice. Maybe my choice is I would like to express myself from an honest, grounded place. I have something that I need to say. I have something that I need this person to hear. After I've relaxed and let go of all expectations and outcomes, because this also is still giving my power away. If I expect if I say this person's gonna say that. If I do it this way, this person's gonna behave like this. And if they don't, I'm gonna be upset. I'm still giving my power away. Once I've taken my power back fully, then I can feel, what kind of choice do I really want to make? Maybe I want to choose to walk away. Maybe I want to choose to write them a long letter. And maybe I'm going to send them the letter, or maybe I'm going to burn it. Maybe I'm going to give myself a lot of time, space. I just need a little time to myself. And after some time's passed, I'll reconsider if I want to address this with this person. There's so many choices. Maybe I want to take 3 conscious breaths and recenter. There's so many choices. That's really a story for another day. It's a topic for another day. So I wanted to just talk about forgiveness today. And forgiveness is a really important part of EFT. Some say that all of EFT is just about learning forgiveness, because it's learning to let go. We're unsticking the energy, and at the same time, we're unsticking the issue so that we can see the issue inside more clearly. And once we are able to voice it, feel it, look at it, now we get a chance to reframe and see it from a new perspective, see it with new eyes. So as we reframe, we start to integrate a new way of seeing myself and seeing others, a healthier way, a happier way. And that's what the emotional healing journey is all about. So this is my talk on forgiveness today. I hope that it was helpful. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments. And I really hope that you will be more forgiving and more loving to yourself on this journey. Practice letting go. It starts with breathing out, moving energy, learning to understand about yourself so that you can let go of all the hurts that you've been inflicting on yourself and open your heart more widely so that you can let your light shine through. This world needs our light now more than ever. So doing your own inner healing work to clear up any of the darkness, any of the hurts covering your light is, in my opinion, the most important thing that you can do for yourself, for your loved ones, and for this entire world today. Okay, thank you so much. See you next time.